We are live.
Are we?
Mm-hmm.
Is it true?
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Super chat live now on.
Yep. We are live on the YouTube channel.
1517. Is that the channel?
Yep.
Are you subscribed to the channel? What's the channel, Duke?
Duke 1517.
And where you can find it at?
YouTube.com.
YouTube.
Duke 1517.
Are you there? Are you here? Are you watching this super chat right now?
Here, are you watching?
Ooh, I can hear somebody's watching me. Somebody's listening to me.
Oh, someone has my phone up.
Who has possessed your phone, honey?
Yep, I never turned the volume up.
That's weird.
So it is possessed.
Are you saying somebody else did that?
Well, maybe.
With
We all
some
have the
kind
same
of-
phone, so you never know.
Ooh. Well, tonight is not a weekday. It's a Saturday.
Saturday. Happy Saturday.
We don't always do this. And by this, I mean doing shows on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we do, especially when we're trying to catch up. And I feel like we need to catch up, right? Because
Oh, yeah. We were gone.
Because we were gone. Because we were gone for a long time. And
Actually, when we're trying to catch up.
ooh, good sound check.
Yep, that's good.
So we have a lot of information that we need to catch you up on, right? Here on the home front,
Yep.
here stateside, because we're in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona Mountains here, says Betty Davis. Need dry chili powder, homemade recipe from Cindy. Ooh, I got you. You can go check out my cooking videos on our YouTube channel as well. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Make
That's
sure
right.
you get the little bell thing,
Mm-hmm.
because then you will get notifications. We have so many different things to discuss on tonight's super chat. It's a lot. It's a lot. Honestly, I don't know if we're going to get through all of it because it's so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's and I'll be honest, I bit off a lot more than I think you were going to be able to chew.
Yep. Chomp, chomp.
And it's been many hours that we've been putting this show together. In fact, actually, it's been days.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this duty to cover all of these different things that I think are really important that have been happening while we were away, that are still going on, that are kind of remnants of what we last reported on before Duke and I went to Mexico, and things in between. I want to cover what happened at the Minneapolis Trump rally riot,
Yeah.
protest. It felt like it was more like a riot, and how little the violent activity of Antifa was featured. I thought that was weird, didn't you?
Actually, I didn't hardly see any of the coverage, but
Well, there wasn't
know.
a lot of it that was like honest, like holy cats. There's something crazy going on.
all I remember seeing is images of fire, which always tells me it's Antifa's involved. They're going to start some fire somewhere and get some attention. You know, Trump rally. And I saw a bunch of email messages that were coming out like, we're going to upset the Trump rally and all this sort of crap, you know. So it's like, and plus I wasn't paying a lot of attention to the American news because we had been in Mexico for 2 weeks, you know. And so all this stuff going on, we were trying to catch up. Cindy was doing the research, and I basically was just seeing little bits and pieces. So I really don't know what happened, except people were spinning it a lot. That's all I could see.
Derek says he was there.
Really?
Do you have video, Derek?
That'd be great.
Man, it would be cool to be able to share some of that. There was a lot of craziness that went on. And I was paying attention to who was going to be there because Unicorn Riot was there.
Oh, I suppose.
They were filming that. And, here locally, there was a lot of rhetoric on what happened in Minneapolis prior to the Trump rally, because there was this whole hubbub about the police not being able to wear their uniforms to the rally.
Really?
And then the mayor made some kind of a proclamation that Trump stands for hate and he doesn't want hate in his town.
Yeah, I heard that.
And so things were, like there was this back and forth going on even before the rally took place, where people were kind of squaring off. And then the rally happened, and afterwards there was insanity. I'm going to share a Fox video clip here so that people can get an idea of some of what took place. We got to talk about this.
Yeah, we do, don't we? There, I got it queued up.
Here we go.
Here we go.
To go to Matt Finn, who's on the ground outside in Minneapolis. Matt.
Hey guys, this is becoming an escalating scene here outside of the rally. A short while ago, we saw people lighting MAGA hats on fire, lighting other things on fire, people rushing police, throwing objects at police, calling them pigs. And happening here right now, there's a confrontation of reporters lined up against police. It's kind of settled down now, but for a while there, this was a pretty intense scene. Here comes something that was just thrown now, I don't know, a cup or something at police officers. But, the scene all night long has been intensifying. People have been in our faces. There have been instigators. There have been a few characters who sought to disrupt and suppress media crews here tonight. And it seems like right now this is coming to a point where hopefully things will eventually settle. We'll continue to monitor this and update you throughout the night.
But Matt, I got a question for you if you can hear me. What's going to happen when you got 20,000 Trump supporters exit those buildings wearing those MAGA hats?
What is that question?
What is going to happen when the 20,000 people that are Trump supporters exit that building?
That's what we've kind of been bracing for. I guess it's anyone's guess. There are police here in riot gear. There are police close, nearby, around the block. There is certainly a very large police presence. We see buses. We see all types of vehicles. And you might be able to see some on camera, but there are some bad actors in this crowd tonight. We have experienced them. They have been vulgar. They have been jumping in front of our cameras, cursing at us, which is typical for any protest. I have personally covered crowds and protests outside of Donald Trump rallies across this country, and tonight I would say it is right up there with a crowd that has some of the worst instigators. And we witnessed some type of what might have been tear gas earlier. There's something else that was just thrown at a police officer on a horse. These people are calling officers pigs. So unfortunately, there are some people here, some protesters, who are exercising their freedom of speech and right to protest, but also instigating.
Matt, how many people are we talking about in this riotous type of atmosphere that you're in? How many people are protesting?
I hate to use numbers on air because then we get criticized for, giving a wrong estimate. But I would say, we see at least hundreds of people here right now. And earlier in the night, there were at least 1,000 protesters here. And that might be a low estimate.
So again, as people are now, the rally is wrapped up. Do you see any of those people in the arena actually coming out and getting close to what we're seeing on camera?
So what you're seeing on camera is this line between police and demonstrators, and because the protesters kind of rushed police, they actually rushed in the opposite direction of the arena. These protesters now are facing away from the arena, so I can't tell from my vantage point, but perhaps the President Trump supporters are exiting the arena without running into these people right now.
And when they started to come into the arena, were the protesters though allowed to get in close proximity to those people, or were they separated into a different area?
So we've been out here all day, and as we see with Trump rallies across the country, thousands, and there's another object just thrown at the horse. The horse are obviously reacting to this. But to answer your question, we're out here all day, thousands and thousands of people lined up, but they were separated from the protesters, and the majority of the protesters you're seeing here right now did not arrive until later in the evening. So the majority of the President Trump supporters lining up to get inside of the rally did not face these protesters on the way in, but it seems...
Okay. I just wanted to give you a taste, and I wanted you to see some of the what and who showed up.
Yeah.
Like Black Lives Matter. It's very important that you pay attention to who are some of the protagonists of this play, of the show. And there's a lot of actors involved. People go there wittingly or unwittingly to participate. If you've been at any of these rallies that we've looked at, the one in Portland, Oregon, the riot that just happened there, these protests where you have MAGA squaring off against Antifa, all of this stuff that we've been seeing, it's part of a theatrical stunt. If you're sincere about politics, policy, or anything having to do with our democracy, don't go to this reality poop show.
No kidding.
Don't participate in the reality poop show with its reality poop actors.
Mm-hmm. It's all fake, and the thing for me is like, this isn't protesting. I'm a seasoned community organizer for over 25 years, and I was taught that you did protests basically to put attention to the issues. You didn't go out there and destroy property, hurt people, hurt animals, start fires. Those are like acts of war. These people are doing this stuff, and it's for the theatrics, it's for the cameras, and let people have their Trump rallies, let people have their whatever rallies. It's like you don't go in there and start smashing stuff up. So this is just totally out of hand and totally unreasonable. I'm pretty shocked.
Okay, you did hear that they were snatching people's hats off their heads,
mm-hmm.
and they were burning all of the MAGA hats.
Yeah.
What is up with these progressive Democrats burning things? Do they want to mirror the KKK somehow? What's going on?
I think, though, too, and it comes from the thing of burning a flag in the 1960s when people were disgusted with the government, with the Vietnam War. They would burn a flag, and it was their right to burn a flag. These people have no sense of history, no sense of what organizing is supposed to be about. Like you said, if you want to work on policy changes in politics and change the government, you ain't going to do it this way, burning mega hats and having total destruction and riots in the street in Minneapolis. That's not going to change anything except get a lot of people arrested, a lot of people hurt.
Okay. So we're going to start with the conversation about the Minneapolis and the riots, who's involved, how it's for show. It's all part of today's show, giving you a Homefront report. We're back home now, here in Minnesota, in the hinterlands of the north
yes,
of America. And we have to update you on everything that's happened with Antifa here in the home front. What's going on with these riots, with these rallies, with these confrontation shows? And who are the actors playing within these shows? The conmen, the fraudsters, the phonies. Mm-hmm. How are we going to identify what they're working on now, including a raid of Antifa, some Antifa member, I'm not sure who. Maybe it was Evan Duke.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yep.
He was recently arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and it's going down. As you remember, it's going down. Hecate Society, both organizations were very important in the organizing of migrants in a caravan that had a standoff in Tijuana with federal police for 6 days. I don't know if you remember that. About a year ago, members of this migrant caravan were acting like protesters in a revolution instead of migrants seeking asylum in the U.S. And they were in a standoff against federal police in a shelter that had been condemned for health violations. And what these folks were being published on and supported by was a group of Antifa-led American activists currently still in Mexico, imposing their imperialistic ugly American view. Paternalistic, we will tell you Mexicans how to do your migration and all of this other stuff. And Hecate Society. You remember those two?
Yeah.
It's going down Hecate Society. We're going to talk about that. And one of the people working with them, some of the people working with them, like Joshua Nichols.
Oh, yeah.
And Jamie Skopowski, both of whom are on that watch list
Yep.
of the FBI and Interpol and all of these different letter agencies that I've told you about. Joshua Nichols recently reared his ugly head. And you know why he reared it? He reared his ugly head to defend Paloma Zúñiga de Lint, otherwise known as Pendeja for Fraud. I mean, Paloma for Trump. And her recent shows, or my shows, featuring her and questions to a Mexican audience about how they felt about her recent viral video going and pushing a migrant child at the border and bragging about making him urinate his pants.
Yeah.
And I thought that was hella interesting. We'll go over why Joshua Nichols, one of these people that is working very closely with the network of smugglers, human smugglers and traffickers. In fact, I'll show you how close. And then we will address some of the racism, the hate, and the slander and defamation that Pendeja for Fraud has engaged in most recently with regard to someone who is going to be working as a Mexico correspondent for us.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Marco Barrientos. He will be doing a report. In fact, one of his first reports will be on Uber drivers versus cab drivers in Mexico. He's going to break it down and explain to us all the ins and outs of why Uber drivers are having this feud, very public feud with cabs in Mexico City, and how the people and the government are dealing with the problem. Anyway, we'll address those comments, those allegations that were
falsely made,
falsely leveled against this gentleman that we first met as an Uber driver, that we interviewed about Pendeja for Fraud and her viral video pushing a migrant child.
That's right. And those videos are on our webpage at kpppfm.com.
That's right.
We put those up. There's 4 different interviews, not all Uber drivers. One was an artist in a museum. And you can just look at the videos, and Cindy did an intro video that she showed each person and asked for their reaction. So as Mexicans react to Paloma, it's at kpppfm.com. Go to a Mexican Crossing Lines or the podcast. And look at the archives, and you can find that show. It's the second one back. The most recent show is Paloma on Dr. Phil. That's another good one to watch too at kpppfm.com.
Then we'll get a little bit deeper into uncovering the delusion behind Pendeja for Fraud, because she's pretty delusional about herself, from how she projects what she is and who she hangs out with. A lot of people that are criminals and frauds like her, and how she is delusional even about her own self-image. Like she does not see herself, probably because she photoshops herself all the time.
Yeah.
But she doesn't actually see and or like herself the way that she is. When you see her, she's not in her natural state.
Yeah. Not in her natural habitat.
No, or her habitat. And we'll talk more about that, as well as go on the Jovi tour.
Oh, the Jovi tour.
Are you ready for the Jovi tour?
I guess.
We're going to talk about Dime con quien andas y te te diré quién eres. Which means tell me who you're with and I'll tell you who you are. Or maybe we should actually apply el que se acuesta con perros se levanta con pulgas. If you lie down with dogs, you wake up with fleas, because there is some lying down that goes along with the story.
Oh, yeah.
Along the way. People lying down with other people. There's a lot of that goes on. Which begs the question, how is a married woman like pendeja for fraud allowed? Or
Allowed.
how does she openly engage in having
There you go.
sexual encounters with other men while she is married, and even flaunt the fact that she does,
Yep, exactly.
and it's okay with her husband? Questions.
Yep.
But apparently this is, du jour amongst Paloma's friends. You think they're swingers? What do you think that's about? I mean, like,
Well, I don't
open
know.
marriage?
Well,
or just
people
just like-
that do that, I know that I'm not going to disrespect people's belief systems, but my own, I would never do that. I'm very monogamous, and I never got married till I married Cindy when I was in my 50s. Because I didn't believe in marriage. I shacked up with people for long-term relationships, but it was never a serious commitment. And now that I made a serious commitment, I would never do that, because that's not what I desire. I was looking for a true love, and a love that would be for the rest of my life. I take the marriage vows seriously. I stood up in front of my community, my family, my wife, her family, everybody, and made that commitment, to love. And that people that don't do that, I would think that they're not happy, they're not satisfied. They need that because they just don't have the thing they actually need. So, don't start talking about sacred vows if you're not doing it.
Exactly. But I will tell you this. There is something very fraudulent that all these folks have in common, and we need to talk a little bit more about that, including some of the fraudulent behavior of Jovi Val and his wife and Jovi's lover, Krista Torres, the woman that he hooked up with when they were in Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the Alexis show?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if you've missed some of our past shows in which we have talked to a number of Paloma's victims, go back and check them all out at kpppfm.com. You can find them there or on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, Duke 1517, what you're watching right now.
Share this far and wide so that all may learn. We'll also dig into some of her more recent posts and what they reveal about her other friends, associates, people she is influenced by, and that she had the quote-unquote honor or joy of meeting, as she has put it, and who that actually refers to, and what that means about Jovi Val's relationships to Paloma and the other women that we're going to talk about tonight. As well as, if we are lucky enough to get into it, looking more closely at Paloma defender Joshua Nichols and all of his links to crime, to criminals, to traffickers, and why and how all of these people, including the Ángeles Sin Fronteras, Border Angels people, are currently doing at the southern border of Mexico, how they're disrupting migration, legal migration, orderly migration, documented migration through Mexico with their propaganda in the media. And what this portends in Mexico in politics and policy coming up. I don't know, like I said, if we'll get to all of this. It's a lot of stuff to cover, including the most recent arrest on the 17th of October of Hugo Castro, the Border Angels guy.
Oh, wow.
He got arrested again.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll see how much of this we can get through. Thank you for being here with us on a Saturday. It's not the usual day that we do our show. But as I said, I want to cover a lot of information, and I wanted to do it together on a super chat. If you like the news that you hear, if you want to support our work, please show your support by making a super chat donation, or you can go to kpppfm.com/donate.
Donate, yes.
By the way, we started off talking about the Minneapolis Trump rally riots, what took place, and why the media was so meh about it. Like, I felt like they were really like, so people from the left burned hats and destroyed property. Like, what's the big deal? And we're super violent. What's the big deal with that? Here's a video from another media platform called Alpha, in which you see more of what happened. This is blatant violence.
Yeah.
Check it. Tell me where I'm wrong. You can narrate
All
what's
right.
happening.
Warning, the following video contains images and language. Angry protesters attacked attendees of the Minneapolis Trump rally.
Guys, me.
Agitators harassed innocent people before the rally began. Bunch of people milling around, yelling, slapping their hands. Guy got his hat taken off. Oh, some swearing. Oh, some swearing. Oh, great.
Apologize for that, dude.
Yep.
They're progressives. I'm sorry.
These are progressives. Foul language progressives. Eat the rich, eat the rich. What are they talking about?
Cannibalism?
Eat the rich.
Is that?
These people are whacked.
Look at.
Oh God, the guy's grabbing,
choking her.
and smashing him in the heads.
They punched
There's a
the guy
slow
in the
motion
head.
of it. Grabs him, gives a neck lock, pulls his phone out of his hand, and it smashes him in the back of the head. Oh man.
Again in the face.
Oh, he got punched again. Make America Great Again sweatshirt guy walking. Oh, it was his girlfriend. She just got smacked in the face. His girlfriend. She wasn't wearing a sweater.
You know, I was walking through there trying to be honest, trying to find my way out here so I could get a cab and get out of here. But basically, one of those people took my hat off, and when I tried to retrieve my hat, then, you know, 2 or 3, maybe 4 of them kind of mobbed me and got sucker punched once or twice from behind. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's not too surprising considering what I've seen.
Blank Trump.
People had to protect people getting on public transportation, dude.
Yeah, they weren't even in the
Police were to
arena.
barricade the mobs from attending.
Yep, here comes
from the
a
attendees that were leaving.
comes the police on bikes. People are just swarming out. Protesters harass and threaten police officers.
They did.
Police are in Save a Life,
Save a
Kill a
life, kill a
Cop.
That's what it says.
Oh man.
So the same people. Did you see the anarchist flag?
Yes.
Protesters in Antifa said, "Don't have flags."
And they're burning flags. Nazi scum off our streets. Somebody just got her hat taken off. Trump supporters were also spit on.
Self-funded, and that he had a little bit of a small.
Oh, nice.
Vehicles trying to leave were blocked and attacked.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Trump supporters and
Oh, he just smashed the car.
open your window, lady.
Oh, he's throwing stuff at the car. Coming up to the
Got a
window.
Black Lives Matter sign. I was just walking over there.
Wow. Go back to Russia, they're saying? Oh,
Back
man.
to Russia.
They're throwing stuff at cars.
Black Lives Matter signs.
The streets are our streets.
Why do you want your their Black Lives Matter sign next to this brand.
I know. Wants any of their stuff next to this brand. Mobs surrounded individuals to attack.
This is people with their faces covered again.
Yeah,
This
antagonizing them.
Antifa going to a Trump rally.
Yeah.
Look,
And they're just clocking people in the face, walking right up to them.
punching them
Protesters
in the head.
wave foreign flags. I'm so bored with the USA.
They hate the USA.
The United States, huh?
You suck. Oh,
Marx was right. Make guillotines great again. The chaos was a stark contrast to a peaceful Trump rally inside the Target Center. Attendees celebrated together with joy while hatred brewed outside.
Okay.
Follow more at Elfin News.
okay. So
Wow.
that was a taste of the crazy. What you don't understand is how insane the fact that a presidential rally would be faced off against in a city like Minneapolis
Yeah.
by hundreds, if not thousands, of people waiting to physically attack other people and the police, destroy property, light things on fire, and create mass hysteria and chaos. You know, disturbing the peace, causing a riot. And yet, this is what is happening here. It's very, very strange. You have to admit, it's really weird, dude.
Yeah, it is weird. It makes me angry, too, because what they're doing is so out of control and so out of hand, and it doesn't make any sense to me why people would get together. And also, the people who are doing a counter demonstration, I've been at counter demonstrations going kind of against somebody who is in some place, and you're trying to, again, bring your position forward, attention towards your position. Organizing is a last resort in organizing to actually do something public, and it's supposed to bring pressure onto public officials to negotiate with you for a solution. These people are out there smashing people in the heads. You know, I don't care what your political affiliation is and who you're supporting. You don't deserve, when you're walking out of a public place in a public street, to get smacked in the head. There was a guy wearing a sweatshirt that said, "Make America Great Again," and he smashed his girlfriend in the side of the head. You know, that sort of behavior and the stuff they're saying. These people don't even understand their own history. You know, go back to Russia. Yeah, where are you from? You immigrant, you know, you go back to Europe. I almost swore there. They're making me mad. They're making me. I have to edit this stuff for the radio. I can't have swear words on
Is
that.
it because you're a German Russian?
Yeah, go back to Russia. Yes, and see my people in Odessa. Yes.
Oh, I think you belong here, honey. It's okay.
yeah.
But this is what's happening in Mexico now. This weird thing where these masked people show up to rallies, nationally recognized events, yearly events like the protest or the march, the Memorial March to commemorate the anniversary on October 2nd of the massacres that happened at Tlatelolco Square. And this was happening the day we arrived in Mexico City.
Yep.
What happened? There was a bunch of anarchist Antifa masked people that infiltrated this event, took over, attacked innocent bystanders, people, the media, damaged property, including the camera equipment, which they were spray painting.
Yeah.
And right in the camera lenses, pushing cameramen.
Yeah. The underpasses, the
blowing
walls.
things up.
Yeah, starting things on fire, breaking windows in the shops. I mean, the shops closed that day because, and it was a weekday. It was
They
like
boarded
a
up the
Wednesday.
windows.
Boarded up the windows, and we were just pulling in. We were just going to where we were going to stay, and the taxi driver was, "Hey, you might not want to venture downtown today. There's going to be a big protest, and it's going to get ugly."
They should have given a hurricane name to it, because in Mexico they said that they boarded up their windows in their stores as if they were preparing for a hurricane, a natural disaster. That is what the infiltration of these people costs a city. Ask Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And do we not recall that one of the organizers of the event on the protests on one of these sides said that one of their main goals was to cost the city a lot of money?
Yeah.
Look at the damage. It's almost a form of extortion. You know, you don't want a big protest in your town? Then do what we say. Otherwise, we come and shut down commerce, cost you millions of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
and damage your property.
Exactly. And take up your police force and all the costs of that.
And damage your monuments. Look what they did in Mexico City. Check out this. Check the similarity. It's eerie and it's disturbing, and you need to know. This is what happened the day we arrived in Mexico City. There's been vandalism in the city of Mexico, but also aggression. One of them gives testimony of what happened to him. For these people, there is no end. They don't respect the property of others. This woman tried to burn a man on the 2nd of October with an aerosol can. I felt in danger until I saw later in the video that there was a woman that had an aerosol can and she sprayed it on me. The situation was intense, and it was a harsh protest. There was a small handful of within that contingent, though. And the only reason he didn't get burned was because the lighter didn't work. And when she couldn't burn him, she turned the objects over to another subject to her right. During these protests that took place in Mexico City recently, history has continued to repeat itself. Not too long ago, women protested against the rape of a woman in Azcapotzalco, and they damaged property. And they injured police officers. We're women. We're women. So what? So what? No. Look at all the graffiti, dude.
Wow.
You raped me. I'm going to take care of you, she says, officer. I am going to take care of you. You watch from that side, I'll watch from this side. In all of these cases, there was like a method. They were following people with photographers and cameramen. So we're journalists, and we think that's an important point. Another reporter was brutally hit on the 28th of September. Women in favor of abortion also painted the faces of people with aerosol, but they also beat them and insulted them. On the memorial of the Ayotzinapa missing students, they appeared again, aggressing against police officers, blowing things up. On the 2nd of October, this is what happened. They attacked anyone who came in front of them. They threw fire. They painted buildings and private or public buildings, and they destroyed property.
quien ha
Pablo
cubierto
Pérez,
manifestaciones
who's
en
covered a
diversas
lot of
partes del
protests in
mundo,
his time,
nunca supo qué tan cerca
never
estuvo
knew
de sufrir
how
una
close
quemadura.
he was to being seriously
Interpuso una
injured by a
denuncia en la
burn.
Fiscalía de Protección a Periodistas
He did put
de la Fiscalía General de la República contra
complaints
su agresora,
against
quien
his
escapó
aggressor,
del lugar sin que
who
uno de los
escaped
decenas
that
de
day
policías que estaban en
through
el
all
lugar
the dozens of
la
police that were
detuvieran.
standing right there,
Carlos Torres,
none of whom
Azteca
were able
Noticias.
to detain her. What did you think about that story? And you heard of two other security workers that were there, and they had their eardrums blown out, remember, because they were so close to the explosion. There was, and at all of these locations where you see these protests, whether it was the people protesting out on the street in front of the Benito Juarez, because that's what it was.
Yeah.
The migrants refused to get help from the government, and they were like, no, we're going to stay here in tents, in raw sewage, in the cold with our children that don't have adequate clothing, so that people can see how horrible the Mexican government is to us, or people can see how horrible this immigration policy is. When there was no need for all of that suffering, they created it so that they could cash in on it. And if you will recall, one of the persons that was helping people cash in on it, including herself, was Paloma Zúñiga de Lint with regard to Maria Mesa, the migrant woman that ran through the
tear gas smoke,
with her twins, who Paloma practically lived day-to-day updates about.
Yeah.
So we know that there was these different elements within these protest movements, not just in the United States anymore, folks, in Mexico, that is really disrupting policy and politics, and even the police and businesses. They don't know what to do because they're like, this didn't happen before. This is new. We don't know what to do with it. Who else was there? Why, it was none other than Refuse Fascism. Did you notice there was, in one of the videos, they also had the Refuse Fascism poster. You see it? And this is from Madhouse, Trump Haters Unleashed, Minneapolis Sucks. This is just one take from the crowd in the back. And you see they have
the Refuse Fascism
logo.
Banner. Yeah.
And I think that the banner says Trump Pence hashtag something now.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was said. But anyway, the other places that you see that this is totally okay is social media. Here, Denver communists planned an event openly raising money for a confront the migra where they live, like confront ICE, confront immigration authorities. Close concentration camps, let them all in. You could buy a T-shirt, and then it would directly go to families affected by the oppressive violence of ICE and their GO posse. And then it tells you where you can order, and they raised money for this flash fundraiser. And if you scroll down even further, I think it shows you there's a group of those people, and it says, "Fire to the prison."
Huh. Oh, really?
Yeah. There's some crazy things that are being advocated, just openly advocated for.
No kidding.
That kind of are not, I mean, maybe it's me, but it doesn't seem to make people bat an eye.
Really?
Like, people don't seem very upset about it or concerned, or like the media's not maybe talking about it enough. But if you remember, Portland Antifa organized some of the what took place out in the riots recently. Their Portland General Defense Committee announced that one of their members was raided for rioting, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct. Aren't those almost exactly the charges that Evan Duke had?
Yeah, pretty much. Huh.
Mm-hmm. The group would not name who was raided, but someone was raided. Look who wrote this article. Look who wrote the article.
How is it? Cassandra Fairbanks? Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lady who threatened to sue us because we said she was a cam girl. And she's
But
a
she
friend
is.
of Roger Stone, wrote for Sputnik, a Russian publication.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen her rear her head for a while, huh?
Mm-hmm. I think she knows who it is.
Yeah.
So they wrote in their It's Going Down post. And by the way, it says here that It's Going Down is the largest Antifa website.
Really?
I didn't know that, but Cassandra says so. I don't know if that makes it true, but that's what she says. And in that It's Going Down article or link, if you go to that, you will find the It's Going Down raid post in which they talk about how the report from the Portland General Defense Committee, GDC, about a recent police raid and arrest following a mass anti-fascist demonstration.
Huh.
And it says that there was a comrade in Portland that had their home raided by the Portland police in relation to a recent demonstration.
Oh.
The Portland police detained this activist on charges including rioting, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct. The police seized many items of clothing, some goggles, and walkie-talkies.
Oh, yeah.
In these situations, remember to get all paperwork from the officers and look it over to ensure that they are only taking what is listed on the warrant. Take pictures of any damage. Do not talk to the police.
Yeah.
Once the police have left, you are released. Immediately contact the National Lawyers Guild.
Oh, really?
Is it? I don't know. It says NLG.
Yeah. That's the National Lawyers Guild.
Your comrades and the GDC to get the word out. It's important to communicate about what's going on and be upfront with your comrades and community about what's happened while interacting with the police and anything that you learned in the process. Having your home invaded by the police is terrifying, and this is their intent. Lean on your community if this happens. We are stronger and safer when we openly share information and support each other.
Yeah.
Our experiences.
Right.
So if that's true, then why won't you say who it was?
Yeah, say who the person was.
Yeah. Is it Evan Duke?
Probably.
It's Evan, right?
It's got to be Evan.
It's got to be Evan. Okay. Maybe it's wishful thinking on my part. But remember, the Hecate Society was also very involved. And they still are. Look, here they are. This was a recent post of the National Guard in Tapachula, Chiapas.
Really?
For those of you who don't know, if you don't know, hello and welcome to the almost second hour of my super chat. I am bringing you all of the Homefront reports and updates that you've been missing while we've been away in Mexico. If you like the reports that you get from Mexican Crossing Line and only from a Mexican Crossing Lines, please make your support known through our super chat. Also, I want to update you on what is going on at the southern border of Mexico. For a long time, in fact, it was already happening when we went to Mexico. There had been a gathering of mostly African migrants that were stuck and had been stuck at the Tapachula detention facility because they did not have the right to traverse through Mexico. They did not have the proper visa or proper legal entry into Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So they started to protest and eventually riot. And flash forward to now, where you have the Hecate Society in Tapachula talking about them, posting about what's going on with the people in Tapachula in Chiapas. These are the same folks that were messing with the migrants in the caravan in Tijuana.
Yeah.
Okay? And this is what they said. So, can you read that?
Early yesterday, a migrant caravan of people from many different countries left Tapachula, Mexico, on foot. This afternoon, the Mexican government, using a huge number of National Guard officers and National Migration Institute agents, blocked the caravan's path, detained many of its members, and broke it up, sending many migrant families running off to hide in the jungle. The military mobilization was like an operation for a full-on battle, but it was really to hunt down migrant women, children, men, migrants who didn't want to stay in Mexico, who didn't want to take anything on from Mexico, simply to pass through in peace. One moment, I've got to scroll up on this. It's way at the bottom. Boy, I thought at first it was like factual. Now it's like propaganda. That's what I'm seeing. All right. So it's Mexico, who simply want to pass through in peace, who are fleeing hunger and violence in their homes. The Mexican government is doing the U.S.'s dirty work. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security grows its power and expands its power and reach across the world, operating the way for extractivism and controlling human displacement and oppression for workers. Irinino. Oh, Mojica? If anyone has access to financial resources, can organize fundraisers or send money directly to migrant organizers in Tapachula, please call now. We've been following what was going on in Mexico when they tried so many different things. They tried letting people in and then doing work visas. Then they did an ID system, and then they started saying, you can't just freely pass through here if you're a criminal. We're not going to let you pass through our country and endanger our community members, our citizens, the people who live here. We're going to actually do background checks. You're going to have to wait, and if you don't pass any of that, we're not going to let you into the country. You have sovereignty. You can decide not to let a bunch of people pass through your country, even though they want to stay there. Pass through. Find a different way. And so I believe Mexico's really tried different things, and now the repercussion is that it's like they're fighting a war against people who want to just trespass through their country without actually having any protocol or any process set up. They just want to pass through because they believe it's their right to pass through Mexico and go right into the United States. And the United States ain't going to let them in either.
And they're not investing in any of the communities through which they pass.
Exactly.
I recently was watching videos from a standoff that is going on in Matamoros, Tamaulipas, which is on the border next to Brownsville, Texas.
Yeah.
And they have been blocking the bridges, Duke. They don't want people to go. Yeah, they're staying right there on the bridges. They don't want people to go through. And they were filming Mexican officials. I felt like I was watching Deja Vu Tijuana.
Oh, yeah.
And they were saying, let us take you to the shelters to get food, because they were sitting there yelling, we're hungry.
Yeah.
Our families are starving. It's harsh out here. We need blankets. We need this. We need that. And this man, who's got some kind of a government-looking official vest on, says, let us help you. Come with us. Let us take you to the place where we got stuff for you. And they're like, no, we're going to stay here in line. And he's like, you're going to be here for months. There's a line. There's a wait. There's nothing we can do to process you faster. You're just out here suffering with these little kids. And he goes, immediately turns to the little kids and goes, what do the little kids want? And the little kids go, let us go so we can be educated. We want an education. Let us go so we can be educated. We want an education. And they just kept chanting it louder and louder. And the guy says to him, the Mexican good dude
Yeah.
with the vest. He says, why don't you let us get you a job so you can, make money while you're here until you get to leave?
Yeah.
And he goes, no. But like he was offended by it. Like, how dare you offer me a job?
That's right.
That's beneath me. And then the guy says, why wouldn't you want a job?
Yeah.
And he literally said, that's beneath me.
That's beneath me. I'm not going to work. I'm going to be given everything. I deserve everything for free. I mean, it's that sort of mentality. It's like, and this is horrible because there's been migrations before and there's going to continue to be migrations, and people migrate from their longitudes and latitudes. And this is going to make it so it's going to be hard for legitimate migration, people that need to pass through countries. It's just horrible. It's just like what the Antifa is doing when it comes to protesting and, like in peaceful marches, resistance and having grievances addressed by our government. They aren't using the Constitution by having free assembly. They're basically out there being thugs. And these migrant groups that are doing the same sort of methods. It's disturbing.
And they're attacking the working class. And they're attacking anybody that's a Trump supporter or a conservative or a Republican. I don't think this is a good strategy.
No, it's horrible.
I mean, it doesn't sound like it's going to be successful.
It's not supposed to be successful. This, you mean just total chaos.
I mean, how are you going to win someone over by stealing their hat and lighting it on fire?
No, you're not going to. You're not going to build allies doing that. You're not going to find things with common ground so you can get something done in this country. You're just going to keep on having factionalized people that are hating on each other and beating on each other. It's, the anarchists don't want a government. They don't want law and order. They want to just control and fight. That's what anarchy is.
And what does that serve? I don't get it,
centralized
though.
Government. It doesn't serve anything. It serves their own angry mob mentality is what it serves. And all those people probably think they're so cool. I'm so cool. I smacked the guy with the Trump hat on. I'm really cool. And getting support from all his friends and buddies, And they're just being, really beeps,
I don't understand violence in that way because I'm not going to tell you I haven't ever defended myself. It was when I was a lot younger, But I'll tell you something. There's no fight or physical altercation I have ever been in where it felt good to be hit.
No.
Where you enjoyed the idea of being in a physical fight.
Mm-hmm.
That happens, but nobody is looking forward to this.
No, not at all.
What is wrong with these people? Because they literally go there prepared to physically assault people. Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing.
Yep, that's what they're doing.
On purpose. Like they're
prepped for it.
They're damaging property. They're pushing people. They're punching people. They're insulting you.
Mm-hmm.
They're blowing out your eardrums.
Yeah,
They're
destroying property.
They're assaulting you.
Mm-hmm.
What is the goal of that?
I couldn't tell you. I can't tell you except to get
How is
attention.
that I'm trying to understand if it's a progressive goal.
Oh, yeah.
What's the goal here?
You're trying to actually make sense of it. And, I think their goal is, one, to be thugs and also to have street cred for being thugs. I used to hang out with the anti-racist action kids, and they didn't have any dreams of anything. They just wanted to go out and beat up Nazis. Didn't care about anything else. And then they were put on their thrones of street cred for doing stuff like that. That's the same mentality of a 14-year-old kid that's just out there riding skateboard and doesn't want any responsibilities. They're the same sort of mentality.
So you need some Martin Luther King Jr. ribbon or something?
No, they ain't looking for that. They're looking for smashing a Nazi's head's ribbon, smashing the Trump wearing hat MAGA people ribbons is what they want, and they got the
I
little
thought
bloody
that the
hat on
progressive
there.
idea was to be like all chill and love and peace.
Yeah.
Where's the love and the peace thing?
Well, they're all cowards too. They don't stand up to the Antifa. The love and peace generation is sold out, and they're all hiding, and they haven't flexed their political might for so many years. They don't even know what to do anymore.
So you can't even call these things out because immediately these people behave as if you're literally attacking them. And yet there's so much violence within their own ranks, so much criminality. It is so disturbing. I don't know if you heard about this, but there was a kid that died, a 23-year-old anarchist named Sean, lost his life. And if you'll post that graphic, you'll see what they said about his death in It's Going Down. This largest of largest anarchist groups. It's going down. A 23-year-old anarchist, Sean Armenio Kelleher, was killed. Get this, Duke.
Yeah.
He was killed after a vehicle struck him. Someone ran him over in Portland. Okay. They killed him with a car. Our hearts go out to Sean's friends and family. A memorial has been erected in the Northeast 9th Avenue and Davis District. I have questions. How did a 23-year-old kid that was hit by a vehicle not have more to the story? Like,
Yeah.
who's
he with? Why was he there?
Well, are they being charged with manslaughter? Were they drunk?
Yeah. Who hit him?
Was it on purpose? I mean, why is the only why do we only know that he was hit by a car?
Yeah.
It's weird.
That is weird.
And nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
And nobody is answering these very basic questions about his death. And he's only 23. And he's from Portland. And then, of course, you have Joshua Nichols, one of these Antifa loyalist border support network, living in Tijuana right now, supporting all the nonsense from the border support network group. He reared his ugly head in my recent reports about Paloma. And I always pay attention when these Antifa people show up for their friends on the left. I'm like, why are you here? And why are you defending this trash fire named Paloma for fraud? I don't understand, but it's curious. It's curious when it happens, and it makes me look at them again and again. And if you will recall, Joshua Nichols most recently, prior to his rearing his ugly head to defend Paloma, was thanked by our newest asylum recipient, Douglas Oviedo, who recently had started a new shelter for women and children called El Puente, the Bridge, same as his rapper band group with Adam Elfers.
Oh, God. Horrible.
And this is the post in which Douglas Oviedo, the guy that started this Casa Hogar El Puente, no, he didn't start it. Of course he didn't start it. The American organizers, Antifa people did it.
Yeah.
They did it, but he was listed in the post. There he is. If you scroll down, you'll see. He is there. Joshua Nichols and, furthermore, River Doherty.
Yeah.
Which I think has changed his name so many times that if you have to keep scrolling until you see the name. There it is. You see it says Joshua Nichols and then comma River. Agua fresca means freshwater river. And you know how River has all these different river references?
Yeah,
Well, that's River.
I see.
And remember, he was there. Mm-hmm. Remember, he was in the pictures. The same person, River Doherty, who we know is connected to kidnapping an unaccompanied minor and working with the same group of American activists that were supplying drugs to the migrants in the caravan at the Agape shelter, including the unaccompanied minor, which they helped to kidnap.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that River Doherty.
Yeah.
And also, here's that post where we were talking with the Uber driver, incidentally, from Mexico City. Here, Joshua Nichols, in response to that last interview that we did with Marco Barrientos, said this.
Not long ago, y'all were buddies with Paloma. It's good y'all are finally seeing through her crap. But when y'all see that Cindy, Oscar, Anthony, and Ben are just as fake as Paloma is.
Oh, you know what? Rewind. This is actually one of the first posts where he came up while we were doing the show on Paloma and showed up to say,
Okay.
sure, Paloma is a bad person, but
You guys are bad too.
you guys are bad too. Also, in this post, the first one he did, he basically says, you guys were friends with Paloma. And I'm like, I was never friends with Paloma. I don't even know Paloma. Ask her. Ask her if we were ever friends.
Yeah, really.
Ask anybody. We're not friends. This is the one that he posted on a picture of me at the airport.
Oh, yeah.
At the airport, pendejo, on my way out of the country. Do you see what he posted there? It was a picture of me standing next to a statue done by a local artist, many of which they post and even sell in the airports in Mexico City, as you saw, Duke.
Oh, yeah.
Of the Catrina, which is a famous cartoon type of skeleton that is seen a lot around the Day of the Dead, that comes from the Mexican reporter that was making fun of the rich foreigners, the rich imperialist foreigners, European foreigners that set themselves in Mexico, that felt like they were running things, you know, and they were rich. So they had all of the trappings of the rich and their dress and their look. They went to all the good parties.
Mm-hmm.
But they were dead inside.
Yeah.
They were dead inside. That's what I was standing next to.
Mm-hmm.
The Catrina. The representation of people like you, pendejo.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was in the airport. But he had some smack to talk about it. And he said, why is she not at a tianguis? You have to go back to the tianguis one.
Yeah, it's all slow right now.
He says, who goes to Mexico to take pics at a mall? It's an airport, pendejo.
Yeah.
He goes, go to a tianguis. You don't go to a tianguis. They usually come to you, pendejo. And you're the vergüenza. You think you're more Mexican than the Mexicans in Mexico. You're a pendejo.
Yeah.
You're an ugly foreigner, imperialist pendejo, trying to impose your stupid, racist, imperialist ideas on Mexico about migrants and about migration, and you have no business. And you have no business. And here he goes defending Paloma. Here he says, about the interview I did with the Mexican Uber driver about Paloma's video going viral where she was pushing a migrant, when she was physically assaulting a migrant. Child, a migrant child.
Yeah.
Not an adult. She's too much of a coward to touch those people. But Joshua says, I'm sure they would react the same way to some of your videos, my videos, meaning my shows. Paloma is terrible, but see, if you have to start a sentence with Paloma is terrible, but you know it's not going to go good. You know? How do you even do a sentence that you say, Paloma is terrible, but...
yeah.
But what?
But what, yeah.
How do you end that, Duke?
Paloma's terrible, but so is Antifa. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, they're both terrible. They're both terrible, but notice how they defend each other. And he says, Paloma is terrible, but all of your Paloma coverage is the pot calling the kettle black. Meaning that he is saying that I am like her.
Yeah.
That
one and the same.
I am pushing, I physically assault people. I commit fraud. I do all of these things. Maybe because to people that crime or that work closely to those that do, like the human smugglers involved with Pueblos Sin Fronteras, you find this totally acceptable. Joshua Nichols. Here he responds to Kim basically saying something like, how do you defend Paloma?
Yeah.
And he says, Paloma is terrible. If that's a defense, everyone here defends Paloma daily. No, that's not the part that people were calling you out on, pendejo. They were calling you out about the part where you said, but.
Yeah.
But. You excuse Paloma, and you're here on a show about Paloma to defend Paloma. Why is that important to you?
Yeah, really. What does it matter?
Why have so many of them raise their hand? Including O.J. Pitaya, another person accused of trafficking sexually, even children.
Yeah.
But the list of the people that she is connected to is long. And her practices in terms of not only, and in terms of Joshua Nichols and Miss Jamie Skopowski, is very imperialist and racist. It's racist. For you to tell me that you know better for Mexicans what Mexicans need to do with their immigration policy. That they're racist. If they feel that people should follow the law, if they feel that people should have to identify themselves and cross Mexico in an orderly fashion. But that is how Paloma is. She is classist and racist. She feels that the working class of people is inferior. She looks down on them. And that's something very racist that happens in Mexican society. Here's a clip of her doing that, referring to me as a tamale maker, which I am. I think making tamales is great. More people should know how to do it, in my opinion.
What exactly am I being exposed about? You haven't told me, tamalera, yet. What exactly am I exposed about? Because your accusations of me being a fraud for voting for President Trump are simply not true. Now she's so.
Oh yeah, that was a video where she was watching your video.
Mm-hmm. And she calls me a tamalera. And here she talks about how she considers me as an insult to be a low-class maid. And she obviously thinks that that's a good way to insult me.
What a low class sirvienta. This is the type of stuff. She's the type of woman that cleans houses in Mexico. Just so you know, not that there's anything wrong with working, but we call them, low class maids because they behave the way that this woman is behaving.
That both of those two.
How do you behave like a low-class maid?
That's a good question.
Explain it to me, Duke.
How do you
behave like a low-class maid?
What
is the behavior of a low-class maid?
Behavior of a low-class maid would be, from what I've seen, well, I don't think of maids as low-class. Every maid I've seen has been working, respectful. Every time I've been served by maids, I want to give them a tip or something because I know they're working for low wages and try to treat them with respect because they're part of the working class, and so her attitude is that you're just low class. If you're a maid, you're low class, and she's calling you low class,
You know what? I think that the greatest reward that I could possibly have is to be able to cook and care for and cuddle and give, there's a lot of different ways of giving love. My father busted and still busts his hump every day in a full-time job as a welder. I'm super proud of the fact that my father is such a hardworking man and that he has maintained this job for so many years. And to me, he is like a superhero. That is how strong and how amazing he is to me. I don't think that people that work with their hands, that are skilled laborers, you had to do it too, Duke. Yeah. That those people are low class.
No, not at all.
Cleaning, taking care of a home, keeping it clean, making a good bed, making some good food, right?
Exactly.
You like it, don't you?
Oh, definitely.
I mean, wouldn't it be sad if one of the perks of being in a great relationship wasn't that you had that extra care for each other where you could,
You cook and clean and you help each other.
Yeah.
And I just noticed Mary Tando wrote us a message and gave us a donation. Thank you, Mary. It says, Miss you, Cindy and Duke. I love your shoes. Shows probably.
Shows.
I love my shoes too.
I got some pretty nice shoes too, though.
They are all superb. And we need to get others to be your fans. Yes, we do. We need more people to watch our stuff. That's why we put it on multiple platforms. We have it on YouTube, put it on our website, and we want people to get this information. We do long shows. I mean, we're going into, the second hour of this show, and we have, hours worth of material. And I know people have shortest attention span. But if you lay out this stuff, and the thing is it's recorded, you can go back, once it's over, you can always go backwards and you can review a piece, you can freeze frame something if you want to look at a picture a little longer. We try to make them interesting, but this information is really important. And how it ties together. That these Antifa people, Standing Rock people, and Paloma for Trump are connected, and Ivan Rebley, and these people, this web of these nardy-wells in our society that are trying to make bank and trying to make money and through inflicting harm on suffering people. And they're working together. We need to expose that.
And you know what? There's been a lot of people out there that have been asking me about the merch. By the way, notice the merch behind me.
Yeah.
My child created this beautiful piece of art. Cindy has the receipts. And yes, I do. I always do. What I am saying, though, is people have been messaging me about the fact that pendeja for fraud is selling t-shirts and mugs with my image on them. And do you know what I say to that, Duke?
What?
I say this. People want to know if I'm going to sue her,
Oh, yeah.
if she can do that. I say this. Hear me. Hear me, people. If I can help Paloma for fraud to get off her back, onto her feet, and earn a decent wage, even if it comes at my expense, I am here for that. I am willing to make that sacrifice. Better that she make it on a mug than on a rug. You hear what I'm saying?
Hear ya.
That's all I'm saying.
You are
Okay.
funny.
Okay. I have more for you. Stay with me for a minute, okay? Stay
All right.
with me for a minute. Do you like what you're hearing?
Oh, yeah.
Give us your support. I have some more. I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. And I have the right to respond to all of the lies and the craziness that comes out of this crazy woman's mouth. So, recently, she posted this about my latest show.
Yeah, which
she said,
on her latest show in quotation marks, like it's not a show, 2 days ago, I was thinking that's the one we did with Dr. Phil. On her latest show 2 days ago, Tamales went as far as sexually harassing me, talking about my body and how she's seen a picture of my great butt on the beach. It was so sickening to watch her face while saying I literally almost threw up. I cannot wait for all of this to be presented before a judge. Any unwelcome sexual speech, in quotations, referring to a person's naked physical appearance, end of quote, ew, ew, ew. She was literally salivating. I don't know what she's talking about, I know we were looking at pictures of her on the beach, and all those sorts of things, and that was another show, and this idea that Cindy's salivating, and that it's sexual harassment, I know she's taking political science courses. I think she's reading too fast. She needs to take a course where you can have
you think she's actually reading?
Comprehensive reading, or maybe someone's taking her quizzes. But I think she's pulling stuff out of her butt, to act like she's actually learning something. Because I haven't seen her string together anything that makes any sense about any education that she's receiving. So if she is paying for an education, she's wasting some money. I tell you that right now.
Oh my God. I can't believe you think she can read. Anyway, she also posted this recently just to go to the delusion, because a lot of what she has been spewing, including physical threats against my family, a lot of what she has been posting recently has been very, at the same time, sick and retaliatory. A continuation of her harassment, which includes this video in which she is posting from what looks to be like a police parking lot somewhere.
Yeah.
And bragging about how she's having a great old time as she goes and makes a report at the police station once again against someone who's going to be really sorry.
Yeah.
Now, knowing that she is a serial litigator that is constantly bringing actions, including with the use of false names and false claims, just to keep people entrenched in a court system where they have to keep hiring lawyers and showing up, taking days off work. It's sick that she would post a video of herself doing that and
really.
celebrating it here I go, screwing up someone's life.
Exactly.
And I want you to know what's in the shadows.
Oh, what?
And I mean literally, what is that in the shadow?
What?
Because Paloma would have you believe that she is a thin little waif of a woman. A wisp. A wisp.
Yeah, she's always body shaming other women, body shaming you, and body shaming everybody, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she lives to call me names and say that. In fact, I am very happy with who and what I am and what I've been through with my body as a mother and as a woman in my middle age.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, oh no, somebody noticed that I have flappy arms.
Yeah.
That comes with the territory. I also have flappy chest. You know, I breastfed for several years.
Raised children, you know?
Yeah, I have war wounds from all that. Like, and I wear them like badges of honor, you know? I had to do that so that children could come out of me.
Easy.
I made people. I made humans. Okay? So there.
Yeah, I'm a creator.
And you know what? I'm proud of that. I don't think, and I know if you're a mom out there, you hear me. You look at your stomach after the birth of the baby, and then you go look at the baby, and you're like, totally worth it. Right?
Right.
I mean, I'm at peace with who I am and what I am at my age, and I'm cool with it. You, however, have a problem, which is why you hide who you really are.
Yeah.
Check out, like I said, who's in the shadows.
What lurks in the hearts of men.
Within.
The Chateau knows.
So happy today, working with investigators. You know what's weird? Sometimes you don't give you really don't give things importance because they don't really have it, but it feels good. It does feel good to go and take action against people who deserve action be taken against them. So having a very productive day today. Very productive day. It's a beautiful day.
Huh.
Did you see the shadow?
Yeah.
Now, if you have seen pictures of recent events in Washington, D.C. that Paloma has been photoshopping herself into, I mean, posting pictures of, you might think that this video was maybe Bigfoot. Would you show the image?
Sure.
From the shadows.
The shadows.
But you would be like, what is that? That's not Paloma, is it? This is the shadow from that video.
Yeah. Just freeze framed.
Here's the next one. It looks like she swallowed a cat or something with a nose and ears, doesn't it? What does she have on her stomach? Santa Claus, is that you?
Yeah, really.
Was that Santa? I don't know. It looks like something other than what she tries to portray herself as in her event pictures. Here's some assorted pictures that she posted of those events. This is how delusional she is. She posts random pictures. This is a woman that's constantly making things up about others. But everything about her life is so fake and delusional. It is truly shocking, embarrassing, and shocking. You know, like you look upon somebody like this that spends the time in their 40s. This is like a 40-year-old woman that is photoshopping herself onto stilts in this picture.
Yeah.
Show the first Photoshop picture. That's
Yeah, look at her.
Now, Duke, talk about how you could tell this is not
Wow.
a place where she was standing.
Well, actually, I've noticed looking at her pictures. There's different things you look at. Well, the starkness of the lighting is one thing. You look at there's shadows near her. You're going in certain directions. There's none on her. She's in the foreground, and her dress layers over the leaves of the trees and the sidewalk in a way that there's no contrast. There's no curve. There's no light. And so this is obviously this photo. In fact, most of her photos I've been looking at are Photoshopped. Some are done really poorly. Some are done very well, to the point to where you can still see they're Photoshopped. They're an imprint of an image stuck on top of another image. This one's very obvious because of the lighting. And also, she's not shaped like that. And we'll show you some of that. And here in the second one, obviously her waist was cut into, a little tiny ring, because there's no way that her body was shaped like that. But, she's, you have every right to doctor pictures of yourself. You can do that, but she does it. And
this looks like something that a 15-year-old does on Snapchat.
Yeah, and it probably was done on Snapchat, And she's trying to be 15 again.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's the part that's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
So, here are some real
pictures.
Okay,
there we go.
That's what she really looks like.
Yeah.
And she, like I said, she will spend so much time talking about my body, how I'm fat, how I'm this, how my arms are that.
Yeah.
This person does not live in the real world. And she's like, look at that. She looks like she is pretty round right there. And she's still wearing a miniskirt.
Yeah.
And she's wearing a very, very low cut tank top.
Yep.
In this picture.
Yep.
In the video that went viral. This is what she was wearing, Duke.
That day.
Do you remember that?
I remember that for sure.
Was there a part of you as a person watching this in the news that there is this woman whose tetas are basically falling out of her shirt as she's committing an assault on a migrant? Wasn't there a part of you that went like, is anybody going to say anything about that?
Yeah. Well, mainly.
Or address it in any way? Like, why did she look like she was like prostituting herself?
Yeah,
at the border?
and too, I saw that right away. I thought, because she'd been portraying herself in so many ways, and she only shoots her face at night in a car and all that sort of stuff. And when I saw that video, it was like her whole body, and she was running up and down the embankment and stuff. I thought, oh wow, her body shape is totally different than she's been portraying. And then just as like, and nothing wrong with that, but it's at the same time she's been projecting that she's not that. And also, when she turned around, she's just really slinky clothes on, right in front of the camera, and she's being filmed.
Makes fun of other people for being like, she shames people for being fat. She tries to make people purposely feel and look like they are fat. Like that is something that she uses to shame people.
Yeah.
But she is not thin. Why aren't you proud of what you really look like? This is a real picture of Paloma taken by her. These are pictures she put out on social media of herself.
Yep. Getting ready for the beach.
So it's not as if she is unaware of what her real body looks like. And it does not look like the woman in that red dress that she posted a few days ago.
No.
So, unless she's magic, that's not what she looks like. And you know what? I suspect that the real reason why she doesn't do videos except for in the dark at night in her car, like she's been doing lately, is because she really doesn't look like that, and neither does her hair.
Yeah.
In fact, I suspect that her hair looks pretty crazy, like this.
Wow.
Leave it right there. So, she also posted this threat. Or her husband did.
Oh, probably her.
He asked if I shouldn't be worried instead about them visiting my uncle. Wait till we go visit your uncle. Let's see if you, and then it sounds like a Mexican saying, like, if you snore like you sleep.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Publicly making a threat in writing on social media. That's how thug, you know, open they are about their brazenness about their criming. But it's not just them, it's who they hang out with too. Here is a post made about a friend named Natasha. Natasha is mentioned in this John Leone post. In it, John says, ladies and gentlemen, Natasha, he's talking about Natasha Bellissima, is one of the friends of, allegedly, the friend of Paloma. Allegedly, the friend of Paloma, Natasha Bellissima, is the wife of Jovi Val, Duke, just so you know.
Yeah.
She is the woman whose face was switched out by Paloma and replaced with a gorilla.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what friends do, apparently, in the world of Paloma. If you're a black woman, she will switch your face out with a gorilla and send it to other people. So, in this post, John Leone is referring to that Natasha, the wife of Jovi Val, saying that Natasha is a convicted felon, robbery, and a psycho that put a GPS tracker on Jovi Val. At the same time, pimps him out just like Jean Nadim Faraon Padilla. That's Paloma's husband.
Yeah.
Has been backing up junkie prostitute Paloma with her long quotes since has no one to talk to mentally psychotic pimps. Jovi Val, 2 felon convicted in fraud checks, white supremacist and organizer of the Unite the Right to rally. I'm assuming Kat Snyder, who was doxxed by Antifa for many years, writing tones of messages around using fake names. Claudia Alicia marched for the Black Lives Matter, considers herself only part of black, and calls herself Asian. Stalks and harasses people for Paloma. Have you noticed everyone near Paloma is a criminal?
Huh.
So there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
It talks about Jovi. It talks about his wife. It talks about a woman named Kat Snyder, who apparently had something to do with organizing the Unite the Right rally. Okay? Who, according to this post, is also a neo-Nazi. Are you following?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we knew Jovi Val was also accused of being a white supremacist neo-Nazi. Are you ready to go on the Jovi tour, Duke?
Yes, I'm ready to go on the Jovi tour. Fasten your seatbelts. You're not in Kansas anymore.
We are going on the Jovi tour. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is actually
a bus in Mexico City.
Yes.
There is a Jovi tour in Mexico City.
Mm-hmm. Are you ready for the Jovi tour?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. For those of you who don't know, we must understand who Jovi is. Jovi Val is a neo-Nazi who has had a role, very interesting, important, prominent role in the conservative MAGA movement. Sleeping with many women, also possibly trying to get into the pants of, and or was in the pants of, Paloma. Who knows? That girl gets around. Point is, there are a lot of people that had questions about Jovi Val all the way to the end. Not the least of which included his boorish behavior. In this video, you see him being accused of using the N-word. And he actually, it's his voice saying the N-word. And they were calling for his GoFundMe or PayPal to be removed because he was an embarrassment to conservatives. Here's the video. He's videotaping some friend of his with women, showgirls, in what looks like Vegas.
Over there. Wow. Okay. All right, come on, let's go. Very nice, very nice. Damn. Run, nigga, run.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's Jovi Val. Married to a black woman, Jovi Val. White supremacist, neo-Nazi, Hitler party, Jovi Val. You remember?
Yeah.
You remember the pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Same Jovi Val that keeps getting into altercations, as one does when you're trying to get in front of a camera all the time, and you're married to a black woman who's involved in the Black Lives Matter movement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Are you following along?
Yeah.
What? They're on both sides? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they're friends with Paloma? And they sleep around?
Yeah.
So, you recall he got into an altercation where people attacked him for wearing his MAGA hat.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He got cut up, and he had a GoFundMe. Here is his urgent care GoFundMe for his injuries. What you don't know is that the money was being raised and collected by his wife.
Oh.
And the other thing you don't know is that a surgeon donated the whole thing. So they raised a lot of money.
Yeah, $3,705 of a $50,000 goal there.
At the time.
At the time, yeah.
Point is, they were raising money for something that was a fraud. Check out on his Twitter, Jovi Fraud is called. Somebody created this parody Twitter page about him getting beat up and collecting money.
Oh, yeah.
It says Jovi Val, professional patriot, steals from gullible Trump after hitting girl in bar.
Oh.
And if you go down in the comments, in the tweets, you have people that are calling him out for doing just that, making money off Trump supporters. Urgent care for Jovi Val, total BS. Doctors fixed him for free. He's a fraud, still collecting. And there are more tweets after that.
Yeah.
That call him out. And, people were mad because if you notice, like, there is a pattern to these frauds. They collect money off of people's sympathy for things that they believe in, like their party or their president or their country or whatever, or animals. Look at how Paloma has been able to capitalize off of people's love of animals or love of Trump or love of country, etc. It's really sick.
Yeah.
It's sick that people like this capitalize off of that. But it's very clear that they do. And here is an article that shows that this surgery was free. As you can see, the headline says that the plastic surgeon carried out a free surgery on the man that was attacked.
Attacked for wearing a MAGA hat.
And if you scroll, it will say it is him, Jovi Val. Lest you think I'm making it up. His real name is Giovanni Valle. There's his name.
Yep, right there. 26. Suffered a broken nose and laceration in his cheek, requiring 15 stitches after being hit with a broken glass bottle over his head July 7th.
So he totally had this taken care of, and he was still raising money. There is an element of that. They are a product. They are actors. And the people that were in their entourage are part of that. Wittingly, maybe unwittingly. Although I think that a lot of them had gone along and continue to go along with what these people have perpetrated on others. Like Krista Torres. But she had a personal relationship with Jovi Val in Colorado. And after the show aired, when Alexa came forward and talked about the police report she filed at that time, what happened in the cabin, how was the window broken, how was the damaged, the property damaged, how did they almost lose their jobs and shut down a school?
Yeah.
And after the show, in which we exposed all of that, Krista emailed me to tell me how much she regretted that Jovi Val's wife would ever find out about the affair. This is what she said.
I never wanted her to find out, to come out. But life's a bitch, right? Hope you sleep well.
He said it like a ghost.
Yeah. Hope you sleep well.
She forgot the P.
Yeah.
Oh, you sleep well.
Yeah, just reading what's on the paper.
Well, it probably would have behooved you not to sleep with him if you didn't want her to find out about it. Plus, like, people were texting each other back and forth about how y'all were sleeping with each other. It was, like, obvious. And you know it was. Y'all know what you were doing was pretty obvious. And I'm sure Jovi Val's wife isn't that dumb. Like, she's got to know it's going on. and she either don't care, like Jean Nadim Paraon Padilla, or they're taking a cut. You know, they're getting something off of it, because otherwise, who's okay with sharing their spouse?
Yeah, exactly.
Anywho, Paloma likes you to believe that she is an innocent victim of whatever is happening around her. She is always seeking the way of light and truth, but sometimes people make her do bad things.
Oh, yeah.
For example, somebody out there was making her racist.
Oh.
You know the racist things that we showed that she put out there about her friend?
Uh-huh.
Well, she posted saying that someone tried to brainwash her for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she wants you to believe that the brain she has at its capacity can be brainwashed.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Also, she wants you to believe that her crappy behavior was the result of possession.
Oh.
Why don't you just come out and say that you were demonically possessed instead of being like, someone brainwashed me?
Mm-hmm.
So she says here that someone brainwashed her, getting her involved on their racism. But the truth prevailed about beautiful women of all colors. It's as it will about me. She's like, oh, no one will know that I'm a racist, even though I put that picture out there of my friend with a chimpanzee face.
Yeah.
That's somebody else tried to make me racist. I didn't do that.
Exactly.
But you did, though. Nobody made you racist, Paloma. You already were racist. That picture of your friend, this is your friend, Natasha, in D.C. This is, no, Bellissima. This is your friend Natasha Bellissima in D.C., correct? This is a picture from her social media site.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that at the top.
Yep.
The social media name. And it's very washed out.
I see.
In the image, but she's actually in front of
the monument.
Washington in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to the next image, you'll see that's the same.
Oh my God.
Pictures.
Same picture with the Photoshop on top, which Paloma is good at, as we established earlier.
See, if you go back, you can see how that was her in that picture.
Yeah.
That's Jovi Val's wife.
Wow.
And that was sent by Paloma.
Wow.
Those pictures.
Jeez.
Turning her into a monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody makes you do that.
No.
Nobody makes you do this. No one else can brainwash you into doing that.
Yeah.
Could I brainwash you into making a meme of a black person with a gorilla face?
Oh, that'd
on
be
it?
horrible. No, you can't
And
make
send
me
it
do
to
that.
someone?
No.
How do I do that? What brainwashing do I use? I mean, like, is there a potion, a drug?
I don't know.
Because she seems convinced that you can just brainwash someone into making a horrible image like that.
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
You can't.
I don't think so. Here is a post that she made trying to tell people. This is all recent, by the way.
Oh yeah.
This all this bat poop crazy that was recently posted on her page. This came like very, very recently. Even within the days that we've been back, I think.
Okay. Real recent.
Yeah. She says, last year after spending some time on the phone with a crazy, feeding me all kinds of lies. She had me believing, once again, someone else brainwashed her.
Influenced her, yes.
This person had her believing that there was a sugar mama who purchased the services of younger men, who was dirty and even had the consent from the wives of these men and had an STD. Actually believed this crazy because she was so convincing. So once again, she's talking about a woman who she claims was a sugar mama to some men. Obviously, the man was married because the man had the consent from the wife.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And this so-called person was brainwashing her into believing all these horrible things about this woman. Well, it was Paloma who sent messages about Natasha Bellissima being okay with her husband sharing her husband with this woman, this sugar mama that's being referred to, who I believe is actually a woman we're going to talk about here. It says married, shared. And there's this message from Paloma. She says, "No, girl, they are married." She's referring to Natasha and Jovi. And she allows this to happen for money. They have an agreement. He can get money from women. Come on, it's obvious. She pimps him out. And the other person responds, "True, it's an agreement. He even told me it's a business marriage." So, Paloma is talking about how Jovi has some kind of arrangement. And in this message, Paloma messages the picture of the woman in question and calls her a skank. And she's next to Natasha, Jovi's wife, in this picture. She says, apparently these two skanks agree on sharing that POS.
Wow.
And the POS they're referring to is Jovi Val.
Wow.
That's who they're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
And that woman is Kat Snyder. And she also is a white supremacist. She was doxxed by Antifa, actually. Here is Jovi Val and Bellissima, Natasha Bellissima, and this Kat Snyder woman, all being discussed by Anti-Fash Gordon on Twitter, saying that Jovi Val is circled by a crowd of Nazis that can't even raise money for hurricane relief without involving a couple of Nazis like Unite the Right to co-organizer Kat Snyder. This is the woman who Jovi Val is thanking. He says, "I hope we can all chip in whatever we can help to help them down in the Carolinas." Kat Snyder, along with many others, are on the front lines of the storm and refuse to leave the area until they help who they can along with their pets. She's done so much for me and my friends, and I think it's time to return the favor. That is Kat Snyder. And there are many other messages in which Jovi Val thanks her for getting him to different locations. So this is a woman that's been paying for his transport, for his housing in places where he goes. So that sugar mama referred to by Paloma that she thought maybe had STDs and was funding Jovi Val is this woman. And the one making the accusations was Paloma.
Yeah.
It wasn't nobody washing your brains. Your brains haven't been washed. Come on. No te hagas pendeja.
Yeah.
But, she tries to play stupid. And more recently, with regard to the interviews that I was doing about her in Mexico, which I'm sure embarrassed the hell out of her.
Yeah.
Because people are embarrassed of you.
Mm-hmm.
Marta Maria, some fake account on Facebook, posted this defamatory statement on the post about this interview, saying that this man, did I know that this guy had past crimes such as murder of his own father, human trafficking for prostitution, as well as influence peddling, because his brother is a police chief. So he's saying that the person we interviewed is a human trafficker for prostitution and influence peddling because his brother is the chief of police accused of extortion, and that the Uber guy is part of the same gang as the brother. And he said, search Jefe Goliath, that's his brother. Is he a partner? Is he a part of our station? Yes, he's now a correspondent for Mexico City for us. And we do not hire criminals. No, but Marta Maria is full of crap and her profile is fake, if she's even a her. Is that you, Jean Faraon?
Yeah, probably.
And Paloma immediately jumped on it. And Paloma immediately was like, oh, yes.
Yeah, she's excited.
They're surrounded by criminals. Cindy surrounds herself with criminals. No, that's you, pendeja, not me. That's what you do. And she posted this saying that I just partnered up with a human trafficker in Mexico City in my desperation to feel connected to a land that is not mine. Mexico belongs to her and only to her.
Only her. She's the only Mexican.
Yep. She's the only real Mexican in the world.
Mm-hmm.
She feels so disconnected from her own people.
Yeah.
And they hate you. They hate you. And the reason is because she's a fake, but also because she is connected to organized crime. She makes jokes about how I'm like getting involved. I'm investigating and I'm talking to the FBI. Well, hazte pendeja todo lo que quieras, but I started off this show by talking about people that just had their house raided not too long ago, and I don't know. I'm making some assumptions about how they got there.
Yeah.
And she posted about her connection to Cristina Estrada Torres, a coyote with Pueblos Sin Fronteras. Don't forget about it. She's the one that has direct contact with a woman that has been detained for assaulting officers in Tijuana and has connections to organized crime and human trafficking. A real connection.
Real trafficker, yeah.
Not made up crap like she took from this fake profile on Facebook. And she also is totally mistaken about who the brother of this Uber driver is. Cesar Deras is a police chief, and he's still currently a decorated chief working with the municipality of Benito Juarez. You can see here he is with the alcalde of Benito Juarez, which is the mayor of Benito Juarez, Mr. Tabaoda. Santiago Tabaoda is the mayor, and next to him is Cesar Deras. And here he is hard at work. This is a recent post. This is just October 14th if you haven't checked the date there, but you can see Mr. Deras is standing next to the mayor again. He says today, like every morning, giving it my all with my bosses. And he's talking about the mayor of the municipality.
Yeah.
He is working in security. He is the chief of police. He has over 20 years decoration of these false accusations that were made against him in the media because he goes against corruption in Mexico. Had any legs, he wouldn't be doing what he is right now. And by the way, he goes by Goliath, Chief Goliath on Twitter. Here is his Twitter page at Goliath BJ. Chief Goliath.
Yes.
And he's talking about one of the recent arrests of his group. But he's also a hero. Check out this video. In Spanish, I'm just going to translate a little bit about how he saved a life and was considered a hero of the city of Mexico.
Muy buenos días. Bueno, pues hoy es miércoles y los invito a comenzarlo
Today's
heroicamente.
Wednesday.
Y es que en la gran ciudad de México,
In the great
a
city of
diario,
Mexico,
bueno, pues
every day,
ocurren hechos maravillosos, pero también
miraculous
acontecimientos
things
no
happen,
tan afortunados.
but
Y
also
para evitarlos,
horrible
existen
things.
personas totalmente
But
comprometidas
to
con el
confront them,
bienestar de la ciudadanía.
there are
Es el
people
caso
that
del
are
jefe
completely
Goliath,
ready
un elemento de la
to
policía
help
capitalina, bueno, que ya
maintain
tiene
the security of our
bastante
city.
trayectoria. Y hoy invito a los
I want
invito a
you
conocer su historia. Él es
to
un héroe de
invite, I
nuestra
want you
ciudad.
to know a hero of our city.
Eran las 8 de la noche con
It was
40
8 o'clock,
minutos. El jefe
8:40.
Goliath recibió una
Chief
llamada de
Goliath
apoyo,
received a call.
pues un hombre de aproximadamente 21 años
A 21-year-old
atentaba
man
contra su vida
was
en un puente de
trying
periférico.
to kill himself
Vi que ya
off
había
the edge of a bridge.
ambulancia, había bomberos, había
There was ambulances,
dos o una
firefighters,
unidad de rescate.
couple of rescue teams.
Y comienzo a observar cómo
And I was
están
observing.
dialogando con él, pero
I started
yo veía
talking
que
to
les
him.
decía que se quitaran, ¿no? Que se
He wanted people to go away.
Alcancé a escuchar
Was
que le
pushing people
dijeron
away.
que no quería hablar con
He said he
policías.
didn't want to talk to cops.
No quería hablar con policías.
He didn't want to talk to
Me
cops.
quitó la camisola y le
I took
pido
off my shirt.
que me ayude a hacer un tipo
I was
una
trying to
silla.
make like a little seat,
Digo,
a
sin
chair,
arnés, muy austero, por cierto,
you know,
con cuerda, pero
a rope
hicimos
kind of a
rápido.
chair thing,
Me comencé a aproximar y
And I started getting close to him.
me permitió entrar en diálogo con él.
And he let me talk
Le
to him.
pregunté varias veces,
And I
"Bueno,
asked him
pero ¿por
several
qué
times.
motivo estás decidiendo
Several times.
arrojarte?
Why
Dime,
do you
¿qué
want to
te
throw
está
yourself off this bridge? I mean,
orillando a eso para
what's
que te
pushing you?
podamos ayudar?
How can we help you?
No, a ver qué te podemos ofrecer. Y
What can we offer you?
nunca accedió.
And he never
Segundos que
accepted.
duran una eternidad.
Seconds that last an
Instantes
eternity.
precisos para hacer la
Instants
diferencia.
in which you
Estaba yo muy
have to make
preocupado porque
decisions. I was
pues,
very
yo creo que
worried
para ningún ser humano es agradable ver que una
to
persona
see
se queda
someone
bien frente
is
de él.
trying to kill themselves. It's
Observo
not
que
something
veía
anyone wants to see.
hacia el vacío.
I was just looking to the
Vi
void,
dos
and
movimientos y en el
I saw him
tercer
make two
movimiento
movements, and on the third one,
decido
I
actuar
decided to grab him,
para sujetar.
and I
El
secured
joven
him.
fue asegurado y atendido
And when
por
he
las
secured him,
autoridades gracias a
the
la
authorities
actuación del jefe Goliath, un
jumped
hombre
in
con
and pulled him
19
out.
años de experiencia como
A man with
policía.
19
En
years
ese
of
momento uno
experience.
siente uno porque te trae la adrenalina muy arriba.
My
Pero
adrenaline
ya
was
cuando
wondering
se pone
high.
a pensar uno,
But
¿qué
afterwards,
hubiera
when I
pasado?
started
¿Qué
thinking what could have happened, what consequences
Pon uno en
could have
la
occurred,
balanza el todo por el todo. Es eso,
if you put everything on the balance,
Toma
and
decisiones en
you have to take
cuestión de
a
segundos.
split-second decision, and
Para la vida misma podemos
save
tener
lives.
cursos,
we could have courses
todos
on
los
it,
seminarios,
workshops,
incluso
etc.
entrenamiento.
in our training,
Pero
but
en el momento de la
but
acción,
in the moment,
no hay un libro que puedas
there's
abrir
no
y decir que
training
tienes que
that
hacer el
prepares
ABC,
you
¿no? Tienes que actuar porque
how
ese
you
es
do that. You just have to act.
tu acción que debes de ejecutar.
You just have to
Esta no
execute.
es la única vez que el jefe
That's
Goliath
not the
atiende un
first
caso de
time
urgencia.
that
Su
he
empeño lo ha
has
llevado a
attended to an
convertirse de
emergency.
policía raso a director ejecutivo
He
de
is
Benito
the
Juárez
executive
y a
director
lograr
of Benito
varios
Juárez.
reconocimientos por su labor.
And he has received a lot of commendations. Yes, I have several commendations
Reconocimientos por parte de la ciudadanía,
from the
en Delegación
citizenship
Tlalpan, en la Delegación Magdalena
and
Contreras,
these two different
en
delegations
Azcapotzalco.
in Azcapotzalco.
Sí, he tenido varios reconocimientos.
Yes, I've had
Es una
lots of
experiencia
different
bonita porque va
commendations.
a quedar para
But you know
el
what?
fin de mis días, ¿no?
This
Eso lo
one,
voy a
this
llevar por
recognition,
todos los días de mi
I'll
vida
carry
y
it
yo
to
creo
the end
que
of my
mis hijos
days,
lo van a ver, ¿no?
and my children
Y
will
sobre
see this.
todo, pues sea un ejemplo
And I'm going to be an example
más compañeros.
to the rest of
Un
my
héroe es aquel que
officers.
hace lo que está en sus manos. ¿Y tú?
A man
¿Qué
that
vas a
does
hacer
what's
hoy?
within his
Con
reach.
imágenes de Jorge Barajas,
And what
para
about you?
Capital 21, Paulina Silva.
Bueno, pues ahí tienen la historia del
There you
jefe
have
Goliath,
it.
un hombre totalmente
Chief Goliath.
capacitado tanto física como psicológicamente, porque bueno, no nada más
Psychologically and
estaba en riesgo
physically
la
capable
vida de este hombre, sino la propia, y bueno,
of saving
arriesgó el todo por el lado, del
the
todo
life
por
of
el
another
nada.
man
Nuestro
and
de este
even
miércoles, que tengan
risked
un
his
excelente
own.
día.
Have an excellent day.
Wow, that was something.
That is the man that Paloma said was a murderer of his own father. And I just wanted to point out how incredibly stupid and ridiculous what she did is. What she said is.
Mm-hmm.
And to celebrate, as we go out, I want to bring you the newest video from Missing Link. I do have to tell you that we switched out the music because it was that pet video that they show on the ASPCA with that singer in McLaughlin, where she's like, in the arms, and the animals are crying in the cages and stuff. Because there are victims of Paloma, and they're the most vulnerable people are victims of Paloma. But also, she is an equal opportunity exploiter.
Mm-hmm.
And her defenders, like Joshua Nichols, and all the people working in that smuggling operation, all those human trafficker friends of yours and Antifa friends of yours, you know what? We'll get to them on my next show.
Mm-hmm.
For now, thank you for being here. Thank you for your support.
Yes.
Thank you for your love. We're going to keep it real here on A Mexican Crossing Lines with your host, Cindy Gomez-Schempp.
And Duke Gomez-Schempp.
You've been listening to 88.1 FM KPPPLP Fargo Moorhead, where we are adding local color to your airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
Don't miss our next super chat.
Yeah.
I got your receipts.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
Right here.
Here's the missing link. We were once loved, cared for, and happy. You have to read it.
But then Paloma kidnapped us.
They're doggies.
There's Paloma yapping. Mm-hmm. Paloma for Trump.
There's a little dog.
Little doggy, all sad. Paloma said, I only need to eat on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Aww.
This is doggy talking.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hungry. Little sad doggy. Paloma used my head to wipe her nasty armpits. Aww. Oh, there's an actual video of Paloma wiping her armpits.
Mm-hmm. Cochina. Look at her smiling while she's sitting there wiping her armpits. Ay, cochina!
Mm-hmm. Oh, little doggy.
Poor little doggy.
Looking at her. Paloma wiped a booger off my ear.
On my ear.
On my ear. She wiped a booger on my ear.
Oh, she's pulling out a booger.
Oh, poor doggy. Paloma for Trump.
There's dogs.
Paloma yelled and threw things at us after she got exposed on Dr. Phil.
Aww.
There she is with Dr. Phil. The doggy was in the audience. Paloma made me watch while she did pig sacrifices to the devil.
Oh, no.
I was traumatized. Oh. Yuck. Trigger warning. Too late. Paloma for Trump. The dog's drinking out of the cup, the mug. Paloma let me drink her coffee because she has too many. She's too busy putting a hex on several of her enemies.
Oh.
And there she is with a torch and a book.
No, it's a wand.
Oh, it's a wand. Okay.
Like a witch wand?
I see. And she has a bunch of candles.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing a ritual.
Mm-hmm. A witch ritual.
Oh, witch. Oh, and there's a poor doggy.
Oh, gross.
Paloma's friend ran over me while filming Paloma dance beside a moving car. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Ridiculous.
Oh, it's her husband.
The pimp.
Yeah, the threatener. Paloma made me the most cheated on man in all of Mexico. And now I think she's given me a venereal disease.
Oh, shoot.
Please help me. That's Gene.
I don't think there's any help for you, Gene.
I don't think there's any help, Gene. Oh, and here's the end of that commercial.
Angel.
That's right. Do what you can do for Paloma for Dogs. Make sure the dogs are released.
Who let the dogs out?
Oof. Oh, and there's little kitties too.
Yeah, she does have kitties too.
Paloma for cats. I see. Yes.
You know what? I hope those animals are free.
Yeah.
I pray for them.
Animal sense. Special. For more on Paloma and in efforts to help her victims, subscribe to Gomez-Schempp and Cindy are doing great work.
I am so sorry we had to remove the music as it was. But Missing Link, once again, amazing job.
Yeah.
Amazing job.
Good job, Missing Link.
Love your stuff.
Yep.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Have a great night.
Have a great night. Bye.